Leading Schools in Disruptive Times, Chapter 5. The big idea here is that we live in a society where education reforms include a system of high accountability based on standardized testing. Because educators need to make sure that students pass the state assessment, we lose focus of our core beliefs in building a responsible community member that will one day contribute to society. I agree with this idea because as a second grade teacher, I am under an immense amount of pressure to make sure that my students are ready for the third grade, where they take their very first state assessment. So all our instruction is geared toward that. I see that the majority of our time is spent to make sure our students pass a STAAR. We spend very little time teaching the student as a whole. Chapter 6. The central idea of this chapter is that administrators today serve a range of generations of teachers with all different views on life, education, and technology. It is important for them to learn more about these groups and how they should all work together to create new learning strategies and types of learning space for our Gen Z students. This was an aha moment because I never really thought about the importance of knowing that each generation has gone through different waves in education and society. The way they teach is based on what their experiences have been. Now, as I coach all of my teachers, I can have a better understanding of why they choose the methods they do, and I can further support their needs to implement 21st century skills into the classroom. Chapter 7. The theme here is that our students need to acquire 21st century skills to be prepared for the global economy that they will embark as they graduate from high school. It is necessary for teachers to know the abilities that students will need to attain and be able to provide opportunities for engagement in activities that involve exposing them to the world. I am skeptical about this idea because in my school we are so focused on assuring that students know how to read and solve math problems that we don't emphasize enough the need to practice these global skills. Our attitude as educators and administrators is that if they don't know how to read, they won't be able to learn anything else, therefore undermining the importance of bringing the outside world into the classroom. The professional development model. The big idea here is that if schools are going to transition from a concept-based curriculum to a skill-based curriculum, then teachers need to be highly effective in providing 21st century learning to all students. That means professional development needs to be selected according to the teacher's needs. If the teachers are successful, then the students are successful. I agree with this idea because as a lifelong learner, I cannot depend on the professional development that I receive at the beginning of the year to be enough to sustain me for the entire year. I see the skills that I lack and I seek professional development in those areas to meet my needs so that I can better serve my students. I read books, attend trainings, and webinars to improve my practice. The more I learn how to integrate global skills into my everyday lessons, the more my students will learn how to use them in the real world.